What's up, people? It's time for our monthly live stream advice where you call in and get your question answered right on the show in combination with what we normally do on Wednesday, which is What the Fuck Wednesday. Let me put my banner up there. There we go. So, I realized it's like, wait a minute, because I always have to have questions for this show. Why am I doing 2 advice shows back to back? I'm old. I'm tired. I got too much other stuff going on, and it was just too much. So I combined them, and that just made sense. And I'm like, why didn't I think of this before? So that's what we're doing tonight. So this is the process. You pay $10. CashApp is preferable if you have it. Otherwise, if you're on YouTube, you can do the Superchat, $10. That's US dollars for those of you who are listening from Canada, Asia, and the UK. So if you do that, you pay during the show. Let us know in the chat. If you Cash App, let me know what the name was that you sent to Cash App so I can match up the payment. Then Shay or I will call you to either type your question in, or you can call in using your phone or your computer network connection, and I'll put the call-in number up in a second. Okay, so that's how this show works. We do this once a month. And like I said, it's in combination with what would normally be What the Fuck Wednesday, where people send their questions in advance. So it's kind of what they call it these days, not combo. There's a word for it when they have meetings that are both hybrid. It's a hybrid show. It's hybrid. There we go. That's what it's called. Okay, so where's my advice column? Here it is. And I will put in the chat. What's up, folks? This is how, if you want to call your question in, this is how you do it. That's the link that you use, okay? So let us proceed. We have, as usual, 25 advice questions on deck. And, a little clamp thing came off of this. So that one's in the garbage. All right, here we go. What the Fuck Thursday with the call-in advice. Let me put this back in there. What's up, DP? So 25 questions. Let's get started with question number 1. It's always fun on this show because you just never know what kind of stuff these people have gotten themselves into, a kind of hot mess. And usually it's something really weird. Hey, Shay. There's a stream up there above where you are, Shay, the call-in number for this week. Question number 1. This is a young man in the 28 to 34 age group from Derby in the East Midlands in the UK. Summary of issue. My girlfriend of 2 years wants to reduce her working hours and for me to pick up the extra costs. I think this might be the end. My girlfriend with a 3-year-old son, who's not mine, wants to basically give up work in the long term to become a stay-at-home mom, but without the mom bit, and have me pay for all the continuing child care plus make up her income. Oh, she tripping, huh? I'm not happy with this. And when we talked about it, she became very irrational and upset. The basis of her, quote, complaint is I make so much more money, she should be able to live a, quote, more comfortable life, end quote, and not have to work, or at least not so hard. When we met, she was an independent single mom, and that independence attracted me. Now she pays for almost nothing and is starting to be more demanding on my finances. I really don't like this. And when I told her so, I never signed up to fund a wife, which was never in the cards anyway, and another man's son. Is it better to go sooner rather than later? Well, if she, this is a value that you guys should have kind of discussed. You said it was never in the, being a wife was never in the cards. Well, did she know that though? Did you, talk about that? Was she aware of that? Would she have moved in with you and done all the other stuff that she's doing to play house with you if she didn't think that? Now, I'm just asking. I don't know. I'm not trying to accuse you of anything. I'm just asking because that is the normal progression when people are in your age group in their 30s and they, been together. I mean, people start thinking about, permanency and long term. I mean, it's what she's thinking about you being the husband and playing that role is not out of the question. The problem is if you never signed on for that kind of marriage or that kind of relationship. A lot of guys want that because they feel like it, makes the woman submissive and he has more power and control. But you're not one of those dudes. And there's nothing wrong with that. I'm not faulting you. I want you to understand that. We're just discussing the issue from all sides, okay? So don't get defensive. I would, if I were you, sit down with her and explain what you just said. It's like, we got together and what attracted me to you was your independence, and it's like, I'm already footing a lot of the financial bill that, I'm not really complaining, but you want to put it all on me. And I'm telling you right now, that's not going to happen. I didn't sign up for you to be my wife. I didn't sign up to support a woman, and especially not somebody else's kid. I didn't sign up for that. I don't mind helping. And, you guys, I got the house here. I mean, we all live together. It's fine. I'll buy the food. I don't care about that kind of stuff. But what I do want to see is you making a sincere financial contribution to take care of your child. He's not my responsibility. And your bills, which are also not my responsibility because A, you're not my wife, and B, I didn't sign up for that. So I'm going to tell you now, if that's really the path that you want to take, then this relationship has to end because I'm not on that page with you. I'm not in that book. I'm not trying to be. And so, you just kind of spring this on me thinking I'm going to go for it. I'm not going to. So that's a conversation that you as an adult male need to have. You can't just be throwing a temper tantrum and saying, oh, it's time to go. It's time to leave. And you don't, have a conversation with her about it. Everybody should be very clear on if this relationship moves to the next level, what the standards of performance are, or if it ends, why it ended. Okay? So take care of your business. Handle your business like a G. I'm just like this man right here. I can't say that I blame them. They've only been together 2 years and they're not married. So, she expects him to perform like a husband when he's not her husband. And that's not fair to him. The same thing I tell women, they can't be expecting you to perform wife duties and you not, they be talking about, well, we don't need a piece of paper and all this kind of stuff. Well, then you don't need anything else that wives give up either. That's why I don't like, young women moving in with boyfriends. I don't like that. I wish y'all would stop doing that. If you don't care and you're not trying to get married or you don't want children, you don't want any of that kind of stuff and it's convenient for you, it saves you money and it's time or whatever, it's closer to your campus, whatever, then it's a benefit to you to do that, then yeah, you can do it. But if you in your mind want permanency, you want marriage, you want, the church wedding and you want a family, you want to be Mrs. Somebody and you want children that have the same last name and they know their daddy and they have a relationship with him and he's in the house with them every night. If that's the kind of thing that you want, then you have to position yourself accordingly. You don't give up the benefits and the privileges of that to a man who's not your husband. Because it's a privilege to roll over in the middle of the night and look at you. It's a privilege to come home to home-cooked meals. It's a privilege to have somebody petting you up when you're sick, making sure you go to the doctor, making sure that you eat well. All of those things are energies that women put into men that they're married to. If you're not married, you don't give a shit if he's sick. You don't care if he dies. You don't care. You know why? Because he's not your husband. And that's outside the realm of girlfriend category. You all need to understand that you be mixing things up. Girlfriends are there for good times, so are boyfriends. That's it. And by the time you move on to fiance, well, then things change a little bit. And by the time you're husband and wife, then they change a lot. But you just call somebody your boyfriend, you don't be doing all that for him. He's here today and gone tomorrow. I can't tell you how many dudes that were my boyfriends that I just looked at them and said, oh, that's enough of this. Pack my shit. And it was 10 minutes later, I was out the door and the relationship was over. And you can do that when it's a boyfriend or girlfriend because you don't owe them crap. So that means they don't owe you either. And that means you don't be putting all this on it. Okay? Too many young women get this shit confused. They get confused. And they're like, oh, boyfriend, this my boyfriend, we've been together since 17 years now. I'm like, I wish I would. 17 weeks is about the max you're going to get out of me. Let's move on to question number 2. This is a female in the 20 to 34 age group from St. Paul, Minnesota. Summary of issue. I withdrew wife privileges from my boyfriend because he won't propose. Okay, did we not just talk about this? Man, this is Candace be on it. Okay, my boyfriend, who's 31, and me, I'm 29, have been together for 7 years. I had voiced that I wanted to be engaged before the 4-year mark. Well, then why are you still with him after 7 years? Okay. He agreed at the time. We were at half a year from reaching our 4th-year anniversary. I had revisited the topic of marriage and told him that I was expecting to get married. He was finishing up his master's program at the time and said he wanted to get out of student debt again and get his finances in order. I bit my tongue and understood that we are partners and I can try to meet him halfway. I wish you had written me then. He earns good money now, and we already moved together 2 years into our relationship and did long distance when he was in his master's program. My job is remote, so I moved on to his hometown, which is 3 hours away from, I don't know what that's supposed to mean. I have been seeing all my friends and cousins get married. Lately, my partner has been thriving in work and enjoying his new life, and it's almost as if he forgot about our personal goals, because that was never his goal, that was yours. When I introduced the discussion again, I could sense that he was dragging his feet. He didn't have enough money for a ring or savings for a wedding when he would very well buy the motorbike he always wanted since he was a kid. He said our life is good as is. Quote, why do we need a stamp of validation from the world, end quote. You are on your own health insurance, so what's the point, end quote. All of this just left me heartbroken. Why don't I deserve to be his wife after being his girlfriend for so long? Does he not love me enough to make a romantic gesture for me, choosing me over his useless bike? I talked to my sister, who got engaged 2 years into her relationship, and her approach was simple yet effective. She told me to withdraw all wife privileges from him until I get that title, that he just has to earn me, not cleaning and cooking for him, moving out, not pay for his expenses sometimes, stuff like that. My boyfriend got mad because I didn't renew my lease with him and told him that that's a very poor way of handling things and that we need this constant in our life to preserve that intimacy, telling me that's the kind of precedent I am setting up for our eventual marriage. I have been a wife to you without the title, I said. I gave myself completely to you, only to expect, you was doing too much. Hold on a second, dang, why are my fingers all fumbling? Only to expect you to do this one thing for me. I've waited long enough. I don't really believe in ultimatums, so I'm not going to try to force your hand. I'm simply acting as your girlfriend now. If you really want our relationship to go back to what it was, you better give me an upgrade. Did I handle this correctly? Just in case, I need to know what's the correct way of handling this for my next relationship. Well, as I was saying, not knowing that this was coming, based on what the other, the first letter had to say, I think it's a mistake for young women to move in with guys, like I just explained. You move in with them if you know that you want more. Then you don't move in. You just don't do that. If you don't care, especially like, you old like me, people start getting, they even older, they already getting Social Security and maybe retirements and all these different things that get reduced if they get married. Well, then it's financially beneficial for them to stay single, even if they live together, to not get married. If you are a person that has a lot of assets left to you from prior marriages, you're a widow or something, you got a trust fund or whatever, you might want to reconsider marriage as well and just keep your own place and just have, overnights or weekends together or something like that. There's a lot of things to consider. But if you're a young woman and you want to have a husband and you want to have children and within the confines of marriage, then you don't move in with a man. It's just that simple. Because once you move in, you giving him all the wife benefits and he ain't no kind of husband to you. It may sound that women will be like, well, that's so old fashioned, whatever. So the fuck is marriage? Okay. But you don't have no problem talking about that and wearing them old funny looking white wedding dresses and all that old shit there with bridesmaids and all that. You don't mind that old fashioned. You want a proposal and all that. That's as old fashioned as it gets. So don't tell me about old fashioned. You on some bullshit. Okay. So you can't pick and choose which old fashioned you want. You either all the way in or you all the way out. So if you all the way out, then it doesn't matter if you live with them because you're not going to get married anyway. You don't care. But if you're all the way in, you want a husband, you want kids, you want marriage, you want that fancy dress, you want the big party and all this old stuff here, the honeymoon and all of that, you want all of that stuff, that's your dream, then you don't move in with him. It's just that simple. Once you move in with him, he's getting everything that you got to give to him as a wife. You cooking, you cleaning, you sexing. A lot of you have babies. You buy property with them. You buy dogs and cats and plants and shit with them. You do cars, trucks, boats. You buy all this stuff. That's what wives do. Why are you doing that? You setting yourself up. You're going to set yourself up to get used and played. Just like her. 7 years in, and this is not the first letter we've getting like this. I've been doing this for 30-something years, and it's always like this. It's always like this when the women are stupid, and you just give everything that you got to give thinking that if you do this, he's going to want you. He's going to want you more. He's not going to want you because he's already getting everything for free. And I know it sounds terrible. My grandmother used to say this phrase, don't buy the cow if you can get, they men don't want to buy the cow if they get the milk free. And I thought it was just stupid. And it's like comparing women to barnyard animals and stuff like that. It's not really an attractive way to phrase things, but the concept of you giving away every benefit that you would have, that this man would be acquiring if he took you as his wife, you're giving it to him as a mere girlfriend. And then you be mad that he don't want to marry you. But I always have to ask these girls, well, what you mad for? Think about it from his perspective. What is he going to get more that he's already getting? What benefit is to him to marry you? What's he going to get out of it that he ain't getting already? And then they sit there and look stupid because they never thought of it that way. So I'm telling you, and this, I'll probably have to say this again in a month or two, but it's the reality check for women. If he want to move in and you think moving in with somebody is such a big fucking deal, don't do it because you're dumb. Stay in your own place. And every time he wants to see you, you say, sometimes you're going to have to say no. He want to do overnights. You really need to start saying a no to that. It's like, no. No, I don't think so. I'm busy. I don't want to. That's a wife thing. Stuff like that. So to remind him, those are privileges. I'm telling you, like the one time I lived with somebody, that's how I did him. I just was like, ugh, he got on my fucking nerves. And I went and I just got me another place. And then I came back to the house and I was packing my shit. And I had already taken a couple of carloads, I was moving myself. I didn't really have that much. And I was moving myself. And I'd taken a couple of carloads. I was on the last carload. And he happened to come in, he came home. And he's like, what are you doing? What's going on? I said, oh, I'm leaving. I'm leaving. And he was like, remember the time I told you about the guy who was hanging on my leg and crying and dragging? I'm like trying to drag myself out the door and he was hanging on my leg. It was him. I was like, oh my God, this is just so undignified. Just please be a G about this. You know what I mean? Stand up straight and say, at least cuss me out, do something. Instead of being on the ground, crawling on the floor, crying and shit. You wasn't doing all that when you was acting a goddamn fool. That's what made me want to leave. He wasn't doing all that then. But, as soon as I decided that I was done with him and I didn't want to be bothered with him anymore, then he's going to have all these crocodile tears. But yeah, that's how you can do when you just live with him. There's no ties. There's no strings. There's no nothing. Child, Leandra, it was kind of savage. I didn't know I was that savage. I was only like 19 at the time. Didn't have no business living with somebody anyway, and it was after that breakup is when I went to Hawaii and met the love of my week. and had myself a blast. So, things work out. Things are they happen the way they're supposed to happen. Question number 3. This is a female in the 22 to 27 age group from Swansea, Wales. Summary of issue. My boyfriend asked me to shave my arms. I'm kind of scared to read this. I'm not sure if this is something I should be offended about or not. My boyfriend invited me to his auntie's wedding. It's a formal event, like most weddings, I guess. Today we were driving and he looked at my arms and asked why I kept my arm hair and asked me to shave it for the wedding to tidy myself up. You don't shave it. Don't you use Nair or something? And that he doesn't find it appealing. But then he said it's not something I have to always do, but just for the wedding so that I look nice. Then he made a joke that he should have left me with the gorillas at the zoo. Damn. When we went because I would blend right in. Dang. No one's ever actually pointed out my arm hair ever. It's very light colored and it's not like 15 feet long or anything. I used to be self-conscious of anybody hair, but have long since stopped worrying about it. Now I'm quite self-conscious again. Is this something I should be worried or offended about, or am I overthinking it? Well, it depends. You could just wear a long sleeve dress and then that solves the problem, right? I don't know what the weather's like in Swansea, Wales, but if you plan to wear something sleeveless or short sleeve, then, and if the hair is noticeable, that might not be the look that you want to have at a formal event. Don't look at it like the gorilla joke was definitely uncalled for. But why would you want to go in a formal gown with fuzzy arms? Why would you want to do that? I'm trying to understand what your point is here. So like I said, either put some Nair on that shit and wipe that shit off for the wedding, or wear a long sleeve dress and then you don't have to worry about it. Those are your only two choices, okay? Because I'm with him. I wouldn't want to be seeing you at some fancy event. Somebody paid $200 a plate for a meal and shit, and you sit up there looking like you half gorilla. Stop it. That's not cute. Okay, don't look ladylike. Same thing. You're gonna lift up your arm and you got look like Whoopi Goldberg in a headlock shit going on. That's not cute either. It's just you got to think about the event. What you could do if you go into a softball game in the park versus what you're going to do at somebody's fancy wedding for $200 a plate are two completely different things. So fix yourself up. Ignore your stupid boyfriend. Tell him don't be making those insulting cracks like that before you get started on him and start making the little dick jokes. Tell him this, let's not go there. And then just handle that. You shouldn't even have to write this. Question number 4. This is a female in the 42 to 49 age group from Boston. Summary of issue. I met a very nice guy with a hunchback. Oh, damn. Am I being too picky? He's a very nice, decent-looking guy. We get along fine at our first meet, but he has terrible posture, or maybe something's worse, like scoliosis. I'm not sure. He walks like an old man, and he's only 55. I tend to have terrible luck, so I'm wondering if this is something I can live with for the sake of a relationship with a good man. Any thoughts from me? Okay, so what you meant, you went on one date and you already like this deep into your ponderings? Girl, it was one date, okay? So he seemed okay on the first date. That don't mean nothing. Can we slow down? Can we talk to him more? Get to know him more? Ask him about that hunchback. Because I'm thinking about Quasimodo. Remember that hunchback in Notre Dame? Quasimodo, who would fly around and ring the bells and shit. Now that was a hunchback of life. I don't know. Dude might have osteoporosis, which, he might maybe he was an ex-gamer. They all have horrible posture. I don't know what to tell you about that. But I think you just jumping the gun here. Okay, let's spend a little time getting to know the guy and see if what your initial assessment of him is actually true. Because, one date really not going to tell you anything other than he has good manners. That's all you really know about the guy. Let's get a little deeper into his personality and his life experiences and his goals and his thought processes about women and relationships and all of that. You need to know a lot more about this guy instead of you worrying about being in a good relationship with some unknown character. Okay, you doing way too much and way too fast. 42 to 49, are you just like desperate for a relationship or something? What's the problem here? Why are you pushing this so hard? But anyway, I just want to remind you, okay, you met his representative. Slow down. Think about this. Scoliosis, it might be. I mean, but a lot. I mean, she didn't say what race it is, but a lot of white people get Europeans get osteoporosis, osteopenia, more so than and Asians too. Black people don't get it that much for some reason, probably because we eat a lot of collard greens, a lot of calcium in those. Yeah, that wouldn't work for me because I'd be like, you want to be looking at dude in the eye, you have to bend down like and look up because he all bent over. That I couldn't do it. I'm not doing all that. Anyway, let's move on to question number 5. This is a female in the 22 to 27 age group from Atlanta. Summary of issue. If a guy acts like this early on, would you consider these red flags? Anything that comes out of Atlanta is already dusty. We already know this. Any letter that comes from there is full of red flags waving, just like a flag signal, okay? So me and this dude have only been a couple for a week or so. I knew I messed up when I found out he had multiple kids and 6 baby mamas. He started to quickly flaunt me on social media and was quick to video record us doing everything. Oh, really? He sounds like a weirdo. So I felt special and magically forgot about his baby mamas and all them kids. In 2 days, he has posted himself kissing my feet, me licking his face, playful, flirty kind of way, and a picture I took of him caressing my feet while he was on his phone. So what's he got, a foot fetish? What is all this about feet and pictures and stuff? What is this? He even posted a picture of me that I posted on my social media a year or so ago. I suppose he admired how pretty I looked in the pic. Each picture and video he's posted had some kind of hood love song connected to it. So I felt admired, but deep down I know something's not right. Deb, then he ended up throwing my phone and cracking it after he got into a disagreement. Here we go. And even recorded a video of me reacting to the broken phone. And I was pretty much laughing about it to keep from crying. I was making a joke out of it, but I don't believe this is truly what love is. It seems more obsessive and controlling more than anything else. Plus, he has all these kids and baby mamas. The youngest kid is just 1. And my biggest question is, why is he so focused on me, flaunting me and showering me with, quote, love when he has all these damn kids? But at the same time, he has to feel something toward me because, wow, the constant attention, affection, and admiration. Oh, that's it? Because he wants you to be baby mama number 7. Okay, my thing is this, okay, let's go back here. You say we've been a couple for a week. And in that week, you found out that he has 6 babies mamas, and I'm assuming at least 6 kids, right? Unless some of them are twins or he has more than one child by the same mother. So let's just put 1 kid with each woman. So that means he's got at least 6 children. You are 22 to 27 with no children. Please explain to me how you think this makes any sense. You cannot be that desperate for a man in Atlanta. Or maybe you are, I don't know. I went there twice. I couldn't wait to leave. So I'm not really a fan of the city. But I'm just going to say this. I want you, after you hear my response here, I want you to call up dude and you say, we need to stop seeing each other because, I agreed to a relationship with you. I'm only 20, whatever age you are, and I don't have any kids. I'm not trying to have any kids. I'm not trying to be nobody's stepmother or interact with children either. I hate that you kept this from me until after you feel like you got a commitment. I feel like you manipulated me, and I'm just not happy with this. I don't like it, and it makes me not trust you. So I want to end this. Leave me alone. And then you do that. And then in the future, think about this. If you meet, normal guys are kind of, I don't want to say timid, but they like to take things slow because A, they're nervous about, what they feel and if this is real. And then B, they're scared of like scaring you off with their emotional weight and neediness and all this kind of stuff. Even if they met you and 8 seconds after they meet you, they know you're the one, which seems to happen a lot. They know that you're the one and they run and tell their family they're going to marry you. He won't tell you. and all of this kind of stuff that's happening here, they won't do that because they'd be scared that you're going to think he's a weirdo and it's going to scare you off. So he's going to pace himself. That's what normal men do. When you got a guy who's putting a bum rush on you like this is a seduction tactic designed to get them draws. And like I said, in this situation where he says it seemed to be a habitual baby mama maker, set you up to be baby mama number 7. Dip out now, understand what the game is that he's running on you, and leave us alone. And then in the future, spend more time getting to know a man. Ask these kind of questions before you agree to a commitment. You shouldn't have been committing to nobody that you didn't know this well at all anyway. You dealing with him for 3 months or so, 3-4 months, then you can commit to him. Until then, this was evidently way too soon because you didn't know nothing. So rethink your dating pattern here. This is just crazy. And then throwing her phone. See, now he's escalating to violent behavior. You need to get rid of this fool before he starts throwing you. Question number 6. This is a female in the 18 to 21 age group from Memphis. Summary of issue. My sister is planning to marry this dude who isn't looking for a job or to do anything with his life. How do I share my concerns? I'm the baby of my family. I just turned 21. But I'm seriously worried that when my middle sister, she's 25, marries this guy and everything she has is joined with his, it will not go well. She told me that he doesn't want to drive or have a car, so he can't find a job. This clown is 26 years old and has never worked at all, so his resume is blank. He has 0 experience and stated to her that he refuses to get a job. She makes about $40,000 a year before taxes, so I can't see how this will play out financially. He got kicked out of his own mom's house because she said she doesn't want him living rent-free and he's not working. I'm worried my sister's going to work herself to death, and the moment she's married to him, she'll be vulnerable to being homeless or in debt. She lives out of state and is proceeding onwards despite everybody telling her the same news. I'm concerned and feel like I can't do anything. Everybody around me says she'll just have to live the life that she chooses and learn the hard way. I don't feel it's my place to tell her, but I want to express to her myself and everybody's worries. Why do you feel like it's not your place to tell her and that's your sister? So you just gonna just let her be stupid and not say nothing? Open your mouth. You sit up here and wrote 97 paragraphs worth of bullshit to me, and you don't want to talk to your own sister who's about to fuck up her life? You tripping, okay? You call your sister up and say, I need to talk to you. And then you tell her. Are you considering the fact that you're gonna have like this adult child that you're gonna be taking care of? You're gonna be working yourself to death, and then you're gonna have a kid. You're gonna be taking care of the kid and all the bills connected with the kid and him too. I don't want to see you. You deserve somebody much better than this guy. You deserve somebody who's got his stuff together and who can be an equal contributor to your life and to the relationship and to the family. This guy is nothing. You really want to get married? You just want to be married that bad that you would choose a loser? And then you're going to call him a loser. And of course she's going to be offended. But guess what? This is the strategy here. You want to do this and you want to tell everybody in the family's worried about her decision-making process like she done lost her damn mind. And because the reason why you want to do this is because you don't ever want your sister, after she gets dragged through the mud, to be able to come back and look at all of you and say, why didn't you tell me? You let me ruin my life. Okay, she's going to flip the blame onto you. That's why you want to do the preemptive strike and you want to tell her now what the issue is. You have to do that. I did that to my own brother. He ultimately ended up getting a divorce with the woman he's with now, been with her for like 900 years. But his wife, she's just scandalous, just a scallywag. I was hanging out with her, because I was trying to get to know her. This was a long time ago. I was young. I was trying to get to know her. We hanging out. And she had an older brother too. But her brother was, her older brother's older than my oldest brother. And he was in love with this white girl. Well, she didn't like the fact that he had a white girlfriend. She wanted to break them up. And so she's telling me the story, right? And I'm in the car with her because, she's driving, I'm just riding. Did I have a driver's license yet? I don't even remember. And so I'm in the passenger seat and she's telling me the story about how she would make up lies on the woman and stuff. And she was laughing like it was funny, right? I didn't say a word. I'm just listening. I guess she thought, well, she's just a kid. What does she know? I mean, I was probably about, I don't know, 16, 15, something like that. And so I'm listening, right? And then it took me about a week to get my gumption up, because my big brother, and he he's like my second daddy, kind of relationship. But I got my courage up and I told him what happened, and I said, what bothers me, what I'm so concerned about is I would never do anything like that to you. I just would rather die before I did anything like that would hurt you or disrespect you like that. My concern is if she would do that to her own brother, her own flesh and blood that she's related to, what would she do to my brother? That's where I left it. So he was stuttering and stammering and, I could tell it got to him. I could tell. I know my brother. I could tell it got to him. But he went on with the marriage anyway, and it lasted a few years, and then they got a divorce because she was trifling. So that is why I say, and so he could never come back on me and say, you didn't tell me, I didn't know, nobody warned me. If you guys had all these thoughts and feelings about it, why didn't you say something? That's what you want to avoid. You want the full responsibility for this decision to be on on her shoulders. So that's why you have to speak up, okay? You have to say something. You have to try to protect your sister from herself even. Question number 7. This is a male in the 18 to 21 age group. He's from Oakland, California. Summary of issue. My crazy ass girlfriend blocked me because I answered a question, quote, in the wrong way. We are both 21 and have been dating for 4 years and have had quite a rocky relationship. We've had our ups and downs, but always make it back together. However, in the past year, things seem to have gotten worse with bickering and arguments occurring over petty things. Is my screen frozen? What's going on here? It's looking like the internet. The internet's acting up. Okay, this is Comcast. This got to go too. I guess that's what's going to happen now. Oh, it's not frozen? Okay. It's just looking bad. I'm going to get rid of this one too. I just don't have good luck with internet service providers. Okay, so let's see. How in the past year, things seem to have gotten worse with bickering and arguments occurring over petty things. Today, she sent me a post with a series of women with the title, "Which one is your type?" I was confused as to why she sent the video in the first place and asked what she wanted me to do with it. She then told me to answer the question. I watched the video and then told her which one was closest to my type. You dummy. You fell into her trap. So then she proceeded to get mad at me, saying that she's disappointed, and then she blocked me. All of this had me confused, as all I did was answer her question. She came back eventually and started telling me how it was a stupid thing to say and how she wanted a different answer from me. I told her if you play stupid games, you're going to win stupid prizes. I felt like it was highly immature of her as she initiated that conversation out of nowhere and then reacted like that. I am honestly not sure what to do from this point forward. I feel so in love with her, but at the last year or so has made things hard, and it's things like this that bring me closer to just calling it quits, as it just adds on to everything else that's occurred. Now I'm left thinking if I should leave. Well, once you start thinking it, that means it's time to go. Especially it's like a girl. It's a girlfriend. It's not a wife. I have to keep telling you guys that. You don't stay with a girlfriend if she's getting on your nerves and acting stupid like this, and you don't stay with a boyfriend who's doing the same. You trade them in for another one. That means that the trial period is over, and now it's time to buy the subscription, and you don't want the subscription because the trial period was raggedy. Okay, so then you get rid of that person and you get a different one. That's all you have to do. Okay, so you don't need to worry about her. Just tell her, these this is not working. Or you could play her little game back and send her the 3 doors and say, pick one. But behind door number 1 is we break up now. Behind door number 2 is we break up next week. And behind door number 3 is we break up within the next day or two. And let her pick which one. But they all gonna say break up. And just play the little game with her so then she gets, think it's gonna be something fun. That's what I would do to her ass. You like to play games so much, let's play one. Question number 8. This is a female in the 22 to 27 age group. She's from the Bronx out of New York. Summer issue. He wants to take me to Chicago after just 2 weeks of talking. Is this too soon? Would you go? If you do, you're stupid. Oh my God, these girls. Shay, girl. Oh, I'm trying not to drink so much because I could just be an alcoholic doing this show. I just want to go down on record. I could be a drunk because these people just push you to the edge. Okay. Okay, he wanted to take her to Chicago. Okay, I need some advice from someone else because I'm only 22 and know that I lack healthy dating experience and boundaries. So I just, and she put the just in cap, start seeing this 30-year-old guy who's like amazing, like constantly asking about the things I like to do. And I know the age difference, but we're Africans, so it's normal for our culture, 22 and 30. Okay. I was born here. He immigrated a couple of years ago. We've been texting for 2 weeks. Had our first date last Saturday. He paid for everything. Well, he's supposed to. He's taking you out. Important for later, and we might have spent almost $150 at night doing various things. We have plans for this week and next week as well. We talk every day. Like he'll text me while I'm at work and then call me when he's on break at his night job. I mentioned a concert I was going to alone since I didn't know anyone who liked this artist. He's now looking to buy tickets because he occasionally listens to this artist. We then talked about the holidays, and he said he'd like to look into getting us cheap tickets to go to Chicago in December since I've never been and it's on my list of places to go. Auntie, is this normal? Should he be spending and planning as much by someone he barely knows? Is it too soon to be discussing so many travel plans? How do I bring up this concern with him that maybe we're going a little too fast? And I don't know if it matters, but we haven't had any nook, and I don't plan to for like another week or so. Oh, you're not going to have it at all. Let me tell you why. His last relationship was like 2 years ago, and he says he's been looking, but nothing has lasted long. I'm not sure what to tell him. Can you help me? I can see why it don't last long because he comes on too hard and too strong and too fast. But the main thing is this. Okay, you just met this clown. You don't know nothing about this clown. This clown was immigrated 2 years ago. You don't know what's the situation there. It's just too much funny stuff going on with people coming into the country illegally, all kind of shit's going on. And then we come into the sex trafficking issue. Human trafficking. You voluntarily take yourself across a state line. It's not kidnapping anymore. Nobody's going to know where you are. And since nobody knows this dude because you just met him 2 weeks ago, your ass is going to disappear into the jungles of Chicago and never be seen or heard from again. That's what happens to girls who are stupid and don't pay attention to stuff in the news. You're not going anywhere with this man. You're not going nowhere. Okay, you're not going. Have I made myself clear? You're not going. Now, what you're going to do is tell him that he's moving too fast and he needs to slow down. Tell him that you're going to spend the holidays with your family or your close friends that you got here or something and their family, and that you're not going to Chicago or anywhere else with him, out of state, in state, out the city. You're not doing it. You're not doing it. Make it clear that you ain't going. He's going, why? Come on, it'll be fun, this and that. You've never been saying, well, I've never been to Paris either, but we're not going there either. Okay? I've never been to Beijing. I've never been to Tokyo either. But there's no reason for you, who I barely know, to think that it's your responsibility to take me. I'll take myself. So you need to think about this, okay? Just you don't believe what I'm saying? Look online. Go onto Google and type in there human trafficking, young women 25 and under and see what pops up. Your ass is in a prime age group. Don't you dare try to even think about going anywhere with this clown. Ooh. Oh, if she was my daughter, I'm telling you. This is scary. These girls just have no, I mean, something's, nagging her that enough that she wrote, but not enough to really focus on what the real risks are here. Soon as he said that, she should, yeah, Chicago of all places. I'm telling you, that's just too shady there. No, I wouldn't, I don't even know what she's thinking. But anyway, let's move on to something else because I can't keep saying the same thing over and over. You ain't going. Question number 9. This is a female in the 22 to 27 age group. She's Caucasian from Seattle, Washington. So I have an issue. I am wondering when I should have nook when newly dating someone. By the way, this show is Diana, this show is our Thursday once a month call-in advice show. So if you have a question that you want to ask, it's kind of a hybrid show, what the fuck questions and then your questions. So if you have a question and you want to get your question answered, Shay just put all the instructions there in the chat on YouTube is where you can see it. The link for if you want to click it and call in using your phone or your computer VoIP line, the link is right there. Get you backstage and you can ask your question and I'll give you an answer right here, right now. You got something, that's coming up for this weekend and you don't have time to wait till next week when we do the column with, the free selections, which we don't guarantee yours is going to be picked, but, whatever. Then you pay your little $10. It's only $10 and I will give you an answer to your question right now. Okay. So you can hang up knowing what you need to do. So that's this show. We do this once a month. All right. So she's from Chicago. Yeah, I know, huh, Tata? At least she had enough sense to do that. So she want to know when you should get busy. Okay, I'm 25 and just got out of a toxic long-term relationship where we get busy every time we saw each other. Oh, really? Sometimes 3 to 5 times a day. What? He never planned anything for us. And amazing dates I'd planned. He'd say, hurry up so we can go back home so I can blank you. Wow. This felt so disrespectful to me, and I even cried in private as I put so much effort into planning these dates, yet you kept messing with them. After one time of that should have been enough. Why are you going to keep screwing with dude? And keep seeing him, keep putting energy and trying to get him to change. What are you doing? Okay, let's see what else happened in this train wreck. I now realize I need to reel back, and reel back who I am because men don't see and appreciate a woman who does any of this. With that said, I need guidance on when I should get intimate with newly dating someone and how much intimacy should I be having in a relationship. Are there any hard and fast rules that I don't know? No, there is not. That depends on the two people involved, how attractive they are to each other. Because, sometimes it be like that, at least at first. And then sometimes it's like, ugh. You just look at them and you're just like, oh God, do we have to? But this 3 to 5 times a day, what are you just like? Okay, let me not be rude, but you can't have real good, thorough sessions 3 to 5 times a day. So that's some slam bam, thank you ma'am shit. Which he should have just went to a hooker for that. That you can't be getting anything out of all of that. Not like that. So you're just sitting there and he's just having his fun and he's getting his jollies and just using your body to do it 3 to 5 times a day. And you let that go on. And then on the date, he's not even interested in really what's going on and spending time with you and communing with you and enjoying your presence. He just wants you to hurry up and get to that so he can get to the mattress. And you didn't understand that this man has no interest in you whatsoever. You were merely a vehicle for his nook release. You didn't get that? I want you to think about what it is you want out of a relationship. There's all kind of videos on this channel that kind of will guide you through that process. I've got my shirt on here. This is from our merch store. See this? This is a WIIFM. You know what that means? That's an acronym for what's in it for me. There's a 2 or 3 video series on this channel about that. That's commemorated by this t-shirt. What's in it for me is a question every woman should ask me when she's involved in herself in a relationship with a man or woman. I mean, whatever your flavor is, any kind of relationship. What's in it for you? Why are you there? What are you getting out of it? What benefit is this person bringing to your world? What kind of support are they providing? Peace of mind, happiness, joy, what? What are you getting out of this? If you don't have an answer to that question, then you don't need to be in that relationship. It's just that cut and dry. And this thing, this hot mess here that you have with this clown here, please end this. All it's going to do is crush your self-esteem more and more. Every time you with this guy, it's going to hurt you more and more emotionally and mentally and psychologically and spiritually. He's no good. He's not good for you. This is not a relationship. He just met somebody who's desperate for companionship and is willing to give up the draws to get it. And so there you go. That's what you got. This is terrible. Seattle weather will do that. Yeah, it's just, I think if women kept these 5 letters in mind, WIIFM, it would alleviate 90% of the drama. Because they would think about it and they would see that there's nothing in it for them. Nothing. Headaches and drama. That's it. Heartache, headaches, dramas, and probably a few doctor visits. Clinic, to the clinic. Maybe that too. But there's, most of these dudes not offering nothing. So I don't understand what you ladies would be chasing after them for and letting them be in your world for. Clear out that trash. By the way, we decided on a date for, I don't have the graphic for it yet, though. I'll have it at the next show tomorrow night. The webinar that we're going to do on saying no will be held on Friday, December 29th at 6 p.m. It's going to be a webinar. It's going to cost $19, not a freebie, $19. And it's not going to be on the channel. So you're going to, if you want the information, you have to show up. It's not going to be a video that you can go and check out later. It's not going to be on the channel at all. It is only for the people who sign up will be the ones who get that knowledge and that assistance. We'll do some Q&A, some real life examples from the audience. I'm going to help you work through. It's going to be an intense 2 hours. So at least an hour and a half. I'm thinking probably more like 2 for $19. Okay. That's going to be on Friday the 29th. We'll start putting, you'll start seeing the promotional material for it. Probably starting this weekend or sometime next week, I guess. Okay. But this young lady here is a prime example of the kind of person that needs to know when to say no, and this is enough. Let's move on. Question number 10. Anybody got a question? You can call in, you can type it in the chat. You pay $10 on CashApp or on YouTube. Superchat, $10. That's US dollars for those of you in the UK and Canada. US dollars, $10. And you get your question answered right now. Question number 10, female 28 to 34. She's Caucasian from London. Summary of issue. I'm distancing myself from my long-term friend, but I'm feeling kind of bad about it. In summary, a long-term friendship, 24 years, has become very difficult. It made me feel like rubbish, and I don't want to engage with her at the moment. I'm seeking thoughts on how to manage this, as she told me she feels, quote, shut down. Over the past 3 years, she's counseled on me numerous times, become incredibly self-absorbed, and the final nail was her setting up a WhatsApp support group as she's going through IVF on her own to try and have a baby. We're both in our 40s. Oh, old ass. She started sending daily injection updates on this, along with requests for glory songs to go with each one, and there are 20 of us in the group. I went along with this for the first round and then started the second, but then it felt too much. I've got a lot of my own stuff going on, relationship problems, and the dad with Alzheimer's, etc. I've sent her supportive messages, a book, and a card, as it is for this IVF round. And I had loads of conversations with her last year about the IVF and chose the donor with her on a long Zoom call. In the end, I sent her a message saying I wish her all the luck in the world. I fully support her, but can't be there on the WhatsApp group anymore. This was after avoiding speaking to her this year because at Christmas she said she needed to, quote, forensically, end quote, examine the friendship, which left me cold. Forensically? Bitch. Deb, I felt a bit bullied, and that it's so all about her, and she can't see past herself or understand how I feel in all of this. She told me that by taking myself off the WhatsApp group, I'm not on her IVF journey, and she's sad I can't respect that the songs and banter are her way of needing support during what's a really tough experience. She basically laid on the guilt trip, saying I had basically shut her down and now wasn't supporting her the way that she needed. I'm finding this friendship and her impossible, and now she says she'll call me after this round, which I'm pretty sure is going to involve her telling me how I've hurt her feelings. I can't see the conversation going well, but not talking to her, she's making me feel bad. How can I handle this, please? She ain't making you feel bad. You're making yourself feel bad. You know why? Because people can't induce guilt on you unless you let them. See, for me, guilt doesn't even exist. Because if I said fucked up shit, I did fucked up shit. I intended to do it. I wanted to do it, and I wanted to hurt your feelings. So there's no reason for me to ever feel guilty. And if I didn't do it, it was an accident, I still don't need to feel guilty because I didn't mean to hurt you. So why should I feel guilty about it? So see, to me, guilt does not exist in my world. Some people say, well, that's like a narcissist or sociopath or whatever, what the fuck ever. I mean, I don't know what to tell you. But I'm not going to waste time condemning myself and feeling guilty about anything. I suggest you adopt that policy. Now, this is what we gonna do. Okay, so you done bowed out, alhamdulillah, you done got out of this situation, and so she be queen bee trying to get pregnant. What does my watch say? With herself, with this IVF, and she's in her 40s. When she called me and she said, well, you weren't on my journey. Just get your speech ready. Because I'm telling you, this would have already flew out my mouth. The evilness in me would just be coming out. So she going to be like, oh, you weren't in with me on my journey and I needed support and this and that, blah, blah, blah. And then what Deb would say, and what I suggest that you model yourself after me, is you say, well, you are old. So the likelihood of somebody in their mid-40s getting pregnant with IVF or any other kind of way is kind of shaky, don't you think? And you spending all this money to get a baby, and at your age, by the time you do get pregnant, the kid's probably going to have some birth defects or some shit wrong with it anyway. So what are you doing all that for? Mother Nature knows best. If you're not getting pregnant, you didn't get pregnant all this time, that means there's a reason. Mother Nature does not want you to have children, and you're trying to fight in reality. And spending all this money and then get mad at us because we on the side of Mother Nature that says you don't need any kids. That's why you can't get pregnant. It's not meant for you. That's not for you. Okay, you need to accept it and sit down and just be old. Just relax yourself and stop tripping like this. And then she's going to be mad. She's going to be so mad and she's going to be foaming at the mouth mad. Then you can say, oh, I can see you mad, but let me just hang up then. And then you hang up and then she'll never call you again. You know why she'll never call you again? Because you done reamed her ass. And you didn't have to use any profanity. You didn't have to even raise your voice. Just be talking shit to her. But it's a reality check that she needs. She thinks she's a queen bee and all this other stuff. When everybody cheer her on because she got some injections. Bitch, please. People with diabetes shoot themselves up every day. You don't hear them on WhatsApp getting a round of applause and support for their injections. What the fuck? Yeah, she tripping. She would not want me to be her friend because I would have been cracked her face with some stuff like this. I firmly believe that, and I think that, people, this is my own thoughts, of people who going to get offended, just go ahead. I really don't care. People fighting against nature with all these artificial things and test tube babies and, sperm donors and all this stuff here, those people were not meant to be parents. Those people were not meant to reproduce. There's a reason for that. Don't you think that the human race survived really well and strong all this time because the weak and the messed up with the genes that were messed up were weeded out naturally? This is not eugenics. This is Mother Nature talking. They do the same in the animal kingdom. The weak animals don't survive. Only the strong survive. The ones that, have all kind of problems or, blind, all this kind of stuff. I mean, I'm not saying blind humans can't do nothing, but I'm just saying in the animal kingdom, those kind of situations, they can't fend for themselves. And so they don't make it. They're not, those genes that made them that way are not put back into the gene pool. They die out. And in the humans, like we look at all the special needs kids we have now, everybody got autism and all these other things going on, auditory processing problems, all this kind of stuff. A lot of these kids wouldn't have been here if it not for these special interventions, medical, interventions, stuff that kept them alive when they were born at 2 months and stuff, and normally would have just perished. They have been kept alive artificially. And so there's a reason why those pregnancies Mother Nature tried to terminate those pregnancies, but people don't want to hear that. They get emotionally attached, and once their emotions get stirred, their logic goes out the window. So to me, that is the reason why we're seeing a lot of the problems that we have now. Those people that had those kids are now of dating age and married age, and they're reproducing. They wouldn't have normally been here. So this is what's going on. Okay, I'm not saying it's a problem that we can't, that we can fix or anything like that. It just is what it is. But I'm just saying that to me, that is the reason. So for her, I would just point that out to her. Well, you're not meant to have no kids. Just roll with it. Because, when you work at a hospital, you get to see all the stuff that they go through, like sewing women's services clothes and stuff that normally would have, you know what I mean? Just all these interventions to sustain pregnancies that really weren't supposed to be sustained, to support births of kids that weren't supposed to be alive. And then those kids grow up with all those problems that, made them like not a viable, specimen, and then they reproduce. And those kids reproduce. And so that's what we're having now. She don't want to adopt. She want to have this, get all this attention on her and stuff. This is terrible. Let's move on. Question number 11. This is a female in the 28 to 34 age group. She's Caucasian from Vancouver, Canada. Summary of issue. My boyfriend and I are having problems with him acting like a child, and I need to know what to do. It's called pack your stuff. What is this? What is this? I need some advice. My 35-year-old boyfriend, who I love dearly, isn't financially stable, and I am. I have my own home, car, and I learned to save. Since I've been with him, it seems like he needs to use me as a mommy more than me being his girlfriend. I tell him we need to talk about finances, grown-up talk about our future, but it never happens, either sleeping on the phone, doing things like reading social media nonsense, and on top of it, all his house is a mess. I can't stand it. I told him, let's talk, and all I get is a later, but it never happens. What should I do? Get a fucking clue. That's what you should get. First of all, what are you doing? This man is not on your level at all. What are you doing? Scraping the bottom of the barrel in the dregs of society and call yourself dating it? Have you no sense at all of what you should be doing here? Oh my God. And I can't even call you a girl at 35. You know better. You're on the downstroke to 40 and still acting stupid and making stupid choices in men. What is wrong with you? This guy is just a tall child. He's useless. He can't do nothing for you. He can't even do nothing for himself. What are you doing? How can you call this a relationship between two responsible adults when one is like this and one is like responsible and the other one is a complete fool? Get it together, chick. Okay, there's no reason for you to waste my time writing this. Please. He would be so like by himself, talking on the phone, playing video games on the phone and stuff like I'm 12. Let's move on. Question number 12 of 25 questions. 25 questions. If you have a question you want to get answered, this is the night for it. You get your question answered live on the air. $10 bucks, 10 buckaroos. You can either type it into the chat stream here on YouTube, or you can call in, like through the computer by clicking that link there, and it'll put you in backstage, and you can just tell me your question with your voice. So question 12, this is a female in the 22 to 27 age group from Liverpool in the UK. Summary of issue. Why do so many men ghost after the first date? I just want to know what I'm doing wrong. A big number of men I meet on online dating sites and apps ghost me after the first date. I'm in my early 20s. I'm slim and not ugly, but not drop dead gorgeous. Oh, hey, Urban. I'm just checking the chat stream. Okay. She's not dropping. Okay. At first, they show interest. They ask me out, or they do it after I say hi first. After the first date, they often unmatch. Some of them as fast as 10 minutes after leaving, we say goodbye. Damn, girl. Alternatively, after that, they don't text anything at all and don't reply if I reach out or we go on another date, and that's where it ends. Is something wrong with my looks, or are they just looking for something else, pretending to want a relationship? I'm beginning to feel ugly as hell, even though I used to consider myself average to mildly attractive. I look younger than my age, more like a teenager. Well, that could be a problem. Is it a turnoff? In my description, I stated I'm looking for a long term relationship to weed out nook hunters. Do they just feel they want to get nook quick and that's why they bail? Is my small amount of makeup a problem? I don't really like doing makeup because it dries out my skin. My behavior is normal. I'm kind and polite. I don't swear. Maybe I'm just a bit awkward or talk too much. Sometimes I can be 15 minutes late, but I always let them know beforehand. I don't initiate physical contact on the first few dates. Only hello, goodbye, hugs, and that's it. Last time I was on a date, this guy gave me a disgusted look. He literally looked like he wanted to K me, not kidding. Of course, he didn't text at all after that and didn't reply when I texted him. I don't get it, as he was the one who asked me out after I messaged him first. I feel terrible. It went almost the same with several other guys I met. Should I just give up on online dating? I think there's just too much competition, especially since I live in a big city here in the UK. It's not about competition, girlfriend. There's something you're doing, and it could be that you're picking, what do these guys have in common? There's something you need to, I don't know, I'm just telling you, you need to think about that. What do they have in common? Is it a look thing, a personality trait that you're attracted to that comes across in their profile? I mean, what is it that makes you pick these guys from all the guys that are on the site? What's the common ground here? Think about that. I would start with that. Okay, now you say that you're 15 minutes late. What adult person is late all the time like that? That's so fucking irresponsible and disrespectful. So yeah, you would get to get a look for that. That's not funny. It's not cute, and it's not an excuse. If your ass is slow like that and you know you're gonna be late, then you just need to start earlier so you can be on time. Nobody feels like waiting around for your ass. You ain't special and unique like that. You good. She ain't good. Because if I would, after 10 minutes, I leave. I leave. And then you would have just walked in there and just standing there looking stupid because I would have been gone. I'm not sitting there waiting for you. I'm like a restaurant. You get a 10-minute window. You ain't there in 10. Some do 5, but most do 10. I'm just like that. 10 minutes later, I'm gone. I'm in my car driving, and when you pull in the parking lot, I'm already in my car going the opposite direction. Okay? I don't really understand this. Okay, then let me see. Then you say you look like a teenager, you don't want to wear no makeup. They have something that's called moisturizer, right? And it seals your skin, right? And then you put the makeup on. You have to put a base and all that kind of stuff. You think I have all that stuff on? I don't use all of that. I mean, I guess I'm blessed to have good skin. But I put on some eye makeup. I put on a little blush and some lipstick and that's it. That's all the makeup that I do. One time I fucked around. Well, okay. One time I futzed around and I actually got some false eyelashes on. I don't know how I did it. It took me like an hour. and that was only one time. I still don't know how to do it. But I have some, so I could wear them. I got them so I could wear them on the show. You think I put them suckers on? Nope. So, I mean, this amount of makeup that I have, this is makeup. Okay? It's just enough to enhance. But I'm not going to be putting all that, contouring and all the stuff I'll be watching them girls do on TikTok and stuff. And it takes them an hour to do all of that. I'm not doing that. This is a 5 to 7 minute makeup routine right here, if that long. And that includes washing my face and moisturizing. Okay, 7 minutes. I'm not doing all of that. And that's probably why my skin looks like this, because I take care of it. I don't put a whole bunch of makeup on it. Okay. Yeah, I try to take care of it. Part of it is drinking a lot of water. But you know what I used to do? My auntie, and I'm going to tell y'all my secret. My auntie had beautiful skin. Oh, my God. And you know what she said the secret to her skin was? I mean, she was like in her 80s. But the secret to her, beer. She said beer, it would help, because it has like a lot of B vitamins and stuff in it. Not like Coors and all that. I mean, like real European beer. It has a lot of B vitamins and stuff, which is good for your nervous system and your skin and stuff and your hair. And so she would drink beer. So I adopted that policy, and all through my 20s and 30s, I drank hella beer. So now it's, I guess it's in my system. So it helped me, not have to look so super old all the time. Beer, honey. But you have to like beer, and a lot of people don't like beer, so I don't know what to tell you. Yeah, I mean, a lot of people really love it, and they know how to put it on and all that kind of stuff. I don't have the patience. That's why I wear my hair like this. I don't like going to the hairdresser. I just don't have the patience. I don't have it. I just don't have it. I can't do it. So, those are some things, that you need to think about. Okay, you could at least wear some eye makeup. You don't have to put all that other stuff on. You looking like a teenager and stuff. So some dudes that might be a turn on, but for most of them who are looking for an adult, that's going to be a turn off. They're going to think that you lied on your profile and you're trying to get them in trouble. So they're going to run and unmatch and all that kind of stuff. You have to think about things from the guy's side sometimes. Think about that. But the ghosting part, let me address that part. You acting like what are they supposed to like call you up and say, oh, it's not gonna work. They don't owe you that. It's a dating app. It's a dating website. You went on one fucking date. Okay, if they don't call you again or they unmatch what that means. So what you trying to act all brand new for? That's the way it is. You got on them apps and stuff, and you got to be able to deal with the repercussions of that decision. Question number 13. This is a male in the 20 to 34 age group. We're taking questions. Advice. This is live advice night. In addition to the people who wrote in advance, we're taking questions live on the air if you have one. Okay, it costs $10, and you put your question in the chat, or you can click that link and call in. No, you got to do your skincare, and I'll tell you a secret. When moisturizing, like I learned this from my grandmother. Okay, you use these 3 fingers. You don't scrub with this finger or these, because they're too strong and they stretch your skin. So you're putting your stuff on right. You're using these fingers here. Notice these fingers to put your moisturizer on. And every time you moisturize your face, you moisturize your neck. For women, all the way down to this area here, you must moisturize all of that. Not just your face, all in here, your whole face, your neck, and your throat, this chest area too. Everything gets moisturized twice a day. Okay, clean all of this, you moisturize all of that. That is the secret, so that you don't have a bunch of lines and wrinkles. You know how you get women that have all them lines and wrinkles and stuff on their neck? Notice how I don't have those? Because I started doing that in my 20s. And then you have to eat well, you got to drink your water, and you have to get your rest. But that's the trick here. See, a lot of women that, they scrub the stuff and they use too much pressure, or they scrub their face with towels and stuff like that. Can't do that. Yeah, I mean, I learned that from my grandmother, grandmothers these days, they be in the clubs too much. They can't tell their granddaughters nothing because they in the club trying to catch themselves. Oh my God. Okay, so question 13 is the young man, 28 to 34. He's Latino from Albuquerque, New Mexico. Summary issue. My wife doesn't approve of my brother's new significant other. Do I have a say in my brother's love life? So my wife and I are both 27, met about 4 years ago and got married recently. My brother is 30, and he has a great relationship and a friendship with her ever since they met. So my brother recently met somebody through the apps, and they're hitting it off nicely. Both of us were very excited for him since he has had a hard time in the dating scene. We always have football watch parties at his place, and he told us that we'd be able to meet her at the next one. We met her yesterday, Deb. It turns out that this woman is my wife's high school bully. When they met, they recognized each other cordially, maybe a bit awkward, but afterwards I could tell my wife was super uncomfortable. We made up an excuse and left early. On the way home, she told me about her bully, but not with a lot of detail. Before going to bed, she told me that I need to demand that my brother stop seeing her. I know she was distressed, but I don't know if I can do this. My limited interaction with her was pleasant. There were no other obvious red flags from her bully as I would detect. Maybe I could warn my brother about her, but I don't think that it can make demands on his love life. If someone came to me and demanded I stop seeing my wife when we started dating, I would have told him to F off. I can see this might strain their friendship, though. Any advice? Thanks in advance. Yes, you need to talk to your brother and tell him what your wife told you. You need to make your wife give you more details as well. You tell your brother, your wife should not be involved in this at all. She's telling you, you're her husband, that's your brother, you tell your brother. Now, you're not gonna suggest that he stop the relationship. What you're gonna suggest is that he have a talk with the woman and see where her head is with it. Is she remorseful? Has she grown from that? What was the reason why she decided to bully your wife when they were in high school? What kind of thing? You need to know what kind of stuff she did so you know how egregious it was. And then is the woman going to apologize and try to make it right? Make amends. These are important details because, you can't talk about what happened in high school when y'all in your 20s now, 10, 20, 15 years out of high school. Okay. I mean, I know your wife suffered a lot for it and it's still bothering her, but she needs some therapy or some shit. I mean, you can't go through life with that kind of stuff. Avoid everybody who did you wrong. I mean, we wouldn't be able to live then. So, start there and see what your brother has to say. If he has that great relationship with your wife, like you said, he's most likely going to be very concerned and he's going to go to this woman and ask her about it. Depending upon her answers, your brother will make the decision on his own whether to continue seeing the woman or not. That's not a decision for you to make, or your wife to demand, or that's inappropriate. But if you take the approach that I suggest and have an honest heart-to-heart conversation with your brother about your wife's reaction and why you guys left and stuff, I'm sure he will be very concerned, and he will want to investigate, and then he'll do everything he can to make it right. And he just started seeing the woman, so if she comes off and all crackpot jiggy or something, then he won't have any problem dropping her because it just started. But if she is very remorseful and say, "Yeah, I was a little jerk," I had problems in my house. I took them out on people who I thought were weaker than me. I'm so sorry. I need to apologize to her. I've been thinking about her all these years, blah, 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 blah. I mean, it depends, what she says. If she says, well, she was just ugly and stupid and I hated her and I just, I did what I did. So what? That was then and this is now. With that kind of attitude, then the brother really has some serious thinking to do. All right. Yeah, but we all had bullies. Bullies. I used to beat up mine though, but I still had them. That's what happens when you have brothers and they teach you how to box. Be laying folks out. Boys too. I beat up boys. I didn't care. I just couldn't have. But I had a lot of bullies because when you're smart, you get straight A's. People would be jealous. And my mother would do my hair cute, and we had nice clothes and stuff. And some of the kids didn't, and they would be jealous. It was terrible. So, he was always fighting in elementary school. Junior high, too, was always some drama. Okay, question 14. This is a young lady in 22 to 27 age group from San Diego. Her issue is my boyfriend's flirting. So I see these messages on my boyfriend's phone. Let's not talk about how I saw them. So they started off from his birthday last year when the girl said happy birthday. So he was out for a stroll and sent her a bunch of photos, the same ones he sent me that same day. A few months later, there's a message from her asking when he's going to come visit her. Now, he sometimes works where she works, so I don't know if that's a work relates or what. He replies, I'll be there Wednesday and Friday. Then a week later, she messages asking, are you coming to say goodbye? I don't know where she was going, by the way. The reply saying, I'm not sure you can handle any more goodbyes. Then just recently, there's a message asking him to do a job or work for her. He teases saying, why do you leave it so late to ask me? Then says, I suppose I can let you off this one time. Then most recently, there's a message from him to her saying the perfume on the cash was a nice touch. He did a job for her. She replies saying it was because it had been in her bag and then told him not to flatter himself. I know they will be working together again for who knows how long for. She sounds very flirty, but he is not repelling her and is also now flirting back with her. The thing is, she's like 18 and he's 32. But the worst thing is we have had so many discussions and arguments about how I find flirting while in a relationship completely unacceptable. Yet he goes and does this. So what are your thoughts? My thought is you stupid. You know why you stupid? Let me tell you why you stupid. You know, some of you women, like y'all say stuff, you talk, you just run your mouth, and you like, that's unacceptable. I'm not taking that. This is wrong. I told him if he does that again, but you don't ever do nothing. All you do is talk. So with a guy, you just running your mouth. I mean, you talk all this stuff. You barking like a fucking chihuahua, but you don't have no bite like a Doberman. Roddy. There's no bite to your words. It's just yapping. So he knows that he don't have to pay attention to you, proven by the fact that you've seen all this go down and you still there. Now, how would I have handled this? By the time I saw the first message where he was being flirty, she talking about when you gonna come and see me and stuff like that, I would have went to him and I said, this is a girl who's, well, if she's 18 now, that was last year. That means she was 17. She's a minor when all this started going on. And I would have reminded her that this is a minor, this is somebody's child, fool. You cease and desist. You do this shit one more time, I'm gone. But I would have already been packing my stuff anyway, because he's going to do it again, because they can't resist. So I would have already have, my stuff ready to go, and then just leave him. But by the time, this kind of stuff going on where he talking about the perfume on the cash was a nice touch. I mean, that's him talking to her. She didn't say that to him. She said it was in her purse, which, my purse smells like body oil. I had this thing, and of course it spilled into my backpack and to my purse because, I can't put the tops on right. So everything I put in there smells like this body oil now. It smells good, but if I gave somebody some money out of my wallet that has that smell on it, I didn't do that on purpose. It's not about flirting with you. It's just everything in there. My sunglasses, my keys, everything smells like that in there, in that backpack. So you have a decision to make. Do you want a man who fucks around like that with 18-year-old girls? Because that's what he's doing. If that's not your cup of tea and you want someone who has better boundaries and shows you more respect, then you know what time it is. I'm not going to tell you. Because this is on you. You've been accepting this disrespect all this time, so your purse smells like... Yeah, some people's stuff smells like that. You know what I mean? So it just depends. So, everything in there is going to have that scent. I don't know what he's just making too much out of... He's just looking for an end so he can tap that 18-year-old. That's what he's trying to do. Question number 15. This is a female, the 22 to 27. She's Caucasian from Boulder, Colorado. Summary of issue. My family wants me to move back home to Massachusetts to help them financially, but my boyfriend is not taking it well. I'm very conflicted now and need some advice. My aunt, who lives in Massachusetts, bought a home with her husband a year ago. This home used to be 3 separate apartments converted into one family house. They plan to convert the property back to apartments and rent 2 out for additional passive income. My family is not wealthy, and they say it's a very long time to buy this house and was their retirement plan. A year later, my aunt's husband divorced her and ran away with his mistress and left her with all the financial burden of this property, which is extensive considering they were in the middle of home improvements and had hired multiple contractors. My aunt is currently working 3 jobs and barely making ends meet, so she asked me if I could move in with her to help her financially, and she offered me one of the apartments to live in or rent it out for additional income. She also does not have her own children. If I was alone, I would have moved back in a heartbeat. She raised me and my sister after my parents divorced and essentially gave up on being parents. She raised me since high school and helped me through college, so I consider her more of a mother than my egg donor. My sister's not in a position to help financially because she's currently in a PhD program in another state and still has 4 years to go. My boyfriend, who I've been dating for 3 years now and I love very much, did not take it well when I brought up moving back to help her. We moved from Massachusetts to Colorado a year ago and are building our life here. He does not want to move back to Massachusetts because he found this amazing job here and does not want to lose it. The reason we moved to Colorado. He said he feels like I'm abandoning him and the life we are building together. He also does not want to do long distance because he thinks they never work out. In the end, it does not want to lose me. So I'm very conflicted. I feel like I owe my aunt my life and I want to help her, but I'm not in a financial position to support my life in Colorado and help her financially at the same time. My boyfriend is not close with his family, so I don't think he understands where I'm coming from, but I still don't want to lose him. What do you and the squad think I should do? If your aunt could move you into the house or have you rent out the apartment, then she can rent out the apartment. And the money that you would be contributing, she could get it from the rent, right? So it's not like you need to be there. She just wants you there. Probably more for moral support than anything else. Right? Because if you're going to live in it, then she could rent it out. Right? Right? That's what I'm understanding. So if one of the apartments is finished enough to rent out to somebody, then she should do that. That's what she should do. Now, one thing that you can think about, you're not married. So, I mean, it's nice that your boyfriend has all these feelings that he wants all this stuff, but he's, ask him, does he have any plans for you guys to be married within the next couple of months? And if he says, no, I'm thinking of so many years, then you say, well, I'm moving back to Massachusetts. And when you figure that out, then you reach out to me because, my family needs me and I need to be there for them, not for somebody who's a mere boyfriend. See, I got to keep bringing that up. He's just a boyfriend up here trying to make demands and have all kind of power and control. You ain't nobody, sir. And I don't know why you moved halfway across the country for a boyfriend anyway. What was wrong with you? Yeah, the mama's the egg donor. So, I don't understand this, but I don't know what it is you think that I'm going to tell you different other than pack your stuff and move back to Massachusetts. Right? This woman, you feel like you owe her something. She took care of you like your second mother. So the relationship here is a little deeper than just an auntie. And your boyfriend needs to understand that. You wouldn't be where you are if it wasn't for this woman and her caring and stepping up when your parents decided that they didn't want to be parents anymore. You wouldn't be where you are. You might not even be at all if it weren't for her, since you guys were just kids. So he needs to understand your sense of your ties and your sense of obligation and responsibility to help this woman who helps you when you were in need. That's what family does. So, it's nice that he loves you and all this old shit here, but he just a mere boyfriend, so he don't have no power. I be keeping it real, you right. That's how you have to do. She said it right here. Parents decided that they weren't going to be parents anymore, and this aunt took her and her sister in and took care of them, raised them up. She going to Massachusetts, whether the boyfriend likes it or not. That's what I feel. Now we move on to question number 16 of 25. No advice questions tonight. Nobody got a question, huh? Okay. Young man, 22 to 27, from Racine, Wisconsin, rather. Summary of issue: men calling women gold diggers because they won't accept a coffee/drink date is weird, and women eating 4 plates of oysters is equally as weird on a first date. Who does that? 4 plates of oysters? I would gag. There was this girl that posted on TikTok that she was talking to a guy on a dating app. He invited her on a drink date. Oh, really? Trying to get her drunk so he can make a move. She stated no nicely. She likes to get dressed up was the reason she gave, but she don't do coffee or drink dates, and asked the guy to pick out 3 restaurants, and he said if he picked, they would split the bill. The take was that she was entitled, but this relationship would have never worked anyways because she expects certain things and he's not able to provide them or doesn't want to. So they didn't meet and both went about their business. Okay, that's appropriate. For the other video, a guy invited this girl for some drinks. She proceeded to order 4 plates of oysters at $15 a pop, lemon drop martinis, and an appetizer. Aren't the oysters an appetizer? The guy said he was going to the bathroom and left her with the bill. It was $180. Again, he wasn't wrong either, and he was pretty nice, and he offered to pay for the drinks. Still, after she texted him for running out, would you say all these people are just not compatible with each other, or is there another issue that I don't understand? Well, that woman, the one who was ordering all the oysters and all that kind of stuff here, I don't know that I would have ran out, but I don't blame him for doing it. I don't know what she was thinking. Thinking somebody, she gonna be coming up and eating like all that stuff. So what's 4 times 15? That's 30. That's $60 worth of oysters, plus an appetizer. So that's another, I don't know, say $15, right? So that's 70 up to 75. And then lemon drop martinis, usually, and I don't know where did he say they were? because that's my drink. Racine, Wisconsin. Okay, I don't know what their alcohol prices are, but here lemon drops run you about another $13, $15, depending if you get top shelf vodka, which of course I have to be special and do that. Get my Belvedere or something in there. So then I'm going out for like $18 a pop. So that's another 60. So yeah, so she spent most of that $180 by herself. Thank you, OG. She spent most of it by herself. And he still offered to pay for the drinks, but he wasn't paying for oysters and all that kind of stuff. The only thing he could have done differently is when she started ordering all, I said, look, I invited you out for drinks, so I'm not paying for all of that in case you were confused. And I'd be like, Garcon, put the drinks on a separate tab because I'm paying for those. She buying, all this oysters and appetizers, so she paying for that. And that's how I would have handled it. But that's not how dude did it, so. Yeah, but she was just doing the most. That's ridiculous. No, when I go out, I spend $100 and something on myself, and it don't be nobody on the date but me. Okay. There's this restaurant I like to go to in San Leandro. What's the name of it? It's right by downtown. So I can't remember the name of it right now, but anyway, it's like right on this corner. It's an Italian restaurant, and they have they have this lavender martini there. Oh my, lavender basil martini. And so I'll either get one or the other, sometimes both. And I'll sit there and I have me a couple of them puppies, 18, 18, 18. And then I'll get like the margarita pizza. And then, I don't know, sometimes, if I bring a friend or something else. So, I'm easy. I'm out $100 and something bucks just on my own. Like a little salad and all this kind of stuff. I'll plop down my credit card and sign on a dotted line. And I have taken myself on a date. And there's always interesting people to talk to while I'm there. I sit at the bar because I'm not going to sit at a table by myself. I sit at the bar where the action is. And there's always all the other single people coming to sit at the bar too. So, we start talking to each other, laughing, swapping horror stories about dating. And they be telling about their divorces and whatnot. And, it's always funny. They're telling what kind of work I do and, the advice stuff. And they be like, oh my God, well, let me tell you this story about me. So it's always interesting. I've never had a boring evening there when I walk in there all by myself. Yes, thank you, Diana. I couldn't think of the name of it to save my life, but I love that place. Their prices went way up though recently. I've been going there for years. And I went there the last time. I was like, wait, what? Yeah, it's called Paradiso. I love it. So if you ever in San Leandro, check it out. I have to say it's like the only decent restaurant in San Leandro. So it's not like you got a lot to check from. It's like right outside, like East Oakland. You cross the border, and it's not too far from East Oakland. But yeah, I go there all the time. So you go in there on a Friday night, you likely to see me sitting at the bar. I got to tell you. Except now in the summertime because it's DNN time. But once we through with DNN, I'm going to be right back into my routine. So you all want to see me, that's where I'll be. Question number 17. This is a female in the 35 to 41 age group. She's Caucasian from Jacksonville, Florida. Summary of issue. My daughter's friend stole a $4,900 watch from my husband, and we don't know how to tell her parents. Oh, can you imagine? Our daughter has been friends with this girl, both are 18, for about 8 or 9 months. What the fuck? And in the last few months, she has started inviting her to our house more often because they're classmates and sometimes they do projects together. Well, last week she came to our house and my husband was helping them with a project since they're studying the same thing he studied. And at one point, my youngest daughter came home with her friends. So my oldest daughter and her friend went into my husband's office. And according to him, he had taken off his watch and left it on his desk. And our daughter saw it, so he was right. But when the friend left, the watch was gone. And after searching for it throughout the house, I decided to check the security cameras and noticed she took it when she was left alone in the office for less than 5 seconds. To my surprise, my daughter wasn't surprised because, according to her, this is the third time that valuable things have disappeared from her house. The first 2 times she stole a pair of gold earrings and a gold necklace from my daughter, and she thought she lost them because honestly she loses her things all the time. But my daughter is sure that her necklace and earrings were in her jewelry box and that her friend took them. And then she brings her back to the house. You have a stupid child. That show wouldn't have went down if that was me. And now my husband, I don't know if we should tell her parents, since she has stolen a significant sum of money from our house. And the last thing we want is to get the police involved. We just want to get our stuff back and help her get help because she clearly has a problem. How can you talk to parents about this without them feeling offended? In total, she stole almost $6,000 of values from our house, and that's not right. But she's young, and we want to give her another chance. That's why we were not going to involve the police. And that's why we also want to talk to her parents. What would be the correct way to handle this situation? Just to clarify, they are in college, and the decision not to involve the police has to do with that. We don't want to affect her academically. I say that we want to talk to her parents because she still lives with them, and they're the ones who pay everything for her. Well, you better than me. I'm going to tell you this, though. You need to, for your own, you can file an insurance claim, but you have to file a police report, right? There's no guarantee that the girl still has it. Why she could have pawned it or given it to somebody or traded it for drugs or something. I mean, you don't know what the girl, why she's stealing stuff that she can, everything that she stole can be traded for drugs or sold, pawned. So I'm thinking it's that, something like that. Okay. She got like a habit and she got to, steal stuff to support it. So, what you're supposed to do is turn that security video or make a copy of it and turn that over to the police with a police report, providing this child's name, her residence address, and everything else that you have on her. And then you just let the chips fall where they may. The reason why you don't worry about protecting her, that's how she got this bad and as old as she is, and she's still doing this stuff because everybody want to cover for her. That's called codependency, where you intervene to protect people who need to hit their heads hard. You constantly protect them so they never get to feel the ramifications or the problems associated with the choices that they've made. People run around and protect them. This is a mistake. What you did, you guys think you're helping her, you're hurting her. She needs to feel repercussions, and she needs to have the law, and she needs to have punishment for the choices that she's making. You're not helping this girl by doing what you're doing. Your daughter is stupid, so you teach her. If you have people who come to the house and they steal stuff from the house, they never get to come back to the house. You should have already we had that conversation with our parents when we were like 4 or 5, before we even started bringing people to the house. If somebody takes something that's not theirs, and it belongs to somebody that's in this house, that's theft, and they don't get to come back here. And so we already knew that. I don't know what kind of parenting y'all be doing, these parents be doing these days, but your daughter, that was a fuck up of major proportions, but you didn't teach her no different, so that's on you. And then you're not going to tell her parents. You're going to report it to the police so you can file a claim on your insurance for the missing necklace, the missing earrings, and whatever else that she may have stolen, and the watch. That's what you're going to do. And it's going to be associated with her. So your insurance company and their attorneys and the police can go after her and her parents and get the stuff back, or get the value of it monetarily. And if then they decide that they don't want to, proceed with charges, that will be the decision of the insurance company, because they're the ones who's going to be suffering the loss here, not you. It's covered under your homeowner's insurance policy. So I don't know. Well, she might, I don't know if this is a klepto or not. Like I said, the thing that kleptos tend to steal anything. I mean, like anything, like a figurine, just stupid stuff, an ashtray. They just have to steal something. This girl is particularly going after high-end, high-value things, gold necklaces and earrings and stuff. She's going after stuff that has resale value and value on the street. I'm telling you, there's something more to it. She got a drug problem, I think. That's what I think it is. And so, yeah, I'm sure she has. And historically, like at other people's houses, and probably more at their house that they haven't even missed yet. Like the parents need to be going through their stuff in their bedroom and stuff and looking at everything. $6,000, that's a felony, isn't it? Isn't that felony level, Diana? It used to be like $3,500 was felony, and then I think it went up to $5,000. So I don't know what it is now. Bye, squeaky clean. Be squeaky queen, I mean. I don't know what it is. DP would know. She is studying the law more recently than me. But yeah, that's what you need to do, parents. Stop trying to protect this girl. She'll get the help that she needs through the court system. Okay, so they'll have court ordered therapy. Her parents won't even have to pay for it. It'll be part of her, rehabilitation and probation. Question number 18. This is a female in the 28 to 34 age group from Detroit, Michigan. Summary of issue. Every time I communicate an issue to my partner, I end up having to console him. For example, last weekend I missed a step while looking at my phone, and I have an ankle brace for healing from an ankle sprain, and I landed on my foot painfully. His response was, "You idiot." And I responded that it was mean. Wow. And he doubled down at first. I told him it upset me. I was upset, but I felt like I remained calm because we were in public. After a while, he realized that it was wrong, that this was his first response to ask if I'm okay. He apologized, but quickly began talking about how shitty he is, etc., etc., and it turned into me consoling himself and assuring him that he's a good person and everything is fine. This is a simple and small example of what happens in larger, more important conversations. Oh, so he turns around and make himself the victim and you fall for it every time. Don't you don't understand the game there? Please. This happens often. Whenever I bring up a issue or something, I feel like something that we can work on together, he turns the table on himself. He talks about how every problem in the relationship is his fault and he lets me down, and he begins listing the ways he's let me down before, and I remind him that it's no big deal and that it's water under the bridge. I end up consoling him. I'm happy to support him. I love him dearly. We've been together for 5 years now. The problem is that the issue I get to bring to the table doesn't get resolved, or it gets half resolved. I feel discouraged from communicating. Now it's gotten to the point where I'm beginning to bottle things up, and you get the picture. I'm starting to blow up. Last night I exploded over the fact that he's procrastinated and has physical therapy for several months, and his back pains have gotten worse. Every piece of advice for a successful relationship says communication is the key, but I feel like this is a massive roadblock to our communication. Are there any strategies for communication? I believe this stems from rejection sensitivity, if that's of any help. Well, nobody gives a shit what you feel. Your ass is writing for advice and you want to tell me what you feel and trying to diagnose the bullshit. If you was all that smart, then you wouldn't need to be writing me. You would have already fixed this problem. So obviously you don't know what the fuck you're talking about. Okay, let's just start there. Now, let's talk about the real issue here is he's a manipulative little jerk. He doesn't want to take responsibility, and you let him get away with that bullshit. When he's talking about, well, yeah, I should have said this and that. That's right. You should have. Because you know why you didn't do that? Because you are a sorry, piss-ass boyfriend. And he want to talk about, well, yeah, I'm just the worst. Say, I agree 150%. You're useless as fuck. You don't never say the right thing. And you always want to get on some pity train like somebody's supposed to feel sorry for you, and when you try to turn the tables. I'm talking about your ass right now. I'm going to continue to talk about you. And if this little thing that you just little charade you try to run, or you try to turn the tables and make me feel like I'm still father to feel sorry for you, it's not going to work anymore. I'm going to stay on track, which is to reaming your ass, okay? That's what we're going to do. Oh, yeah. He just super. I know, I wish I would console him. When they get started with that, well, I can't do nothing because I'm all fucked up and stuff. I say, yeah, you're right. I always agree with them. You're right. You know yourself better than me, so if that's how you feel, it must be true. Who am I to argue with you? You know more about your raggediness than I ever could. TV say, yeah, class A, Dusty. I'm just done with these dudes. So nobody had a question tonight. Well, people cried for this show. Oh, we need to have a show where we can call in every year, every month. Oh my God. And nobody's even calling. Okay. Don't wait till the last minute, because I'm gonna be off the channel. So I'm starving. My stomach is growling. Here we go with question 20 of 25. So we're winding down. Female 22 to 27. She's Latina from San Jose, California. Summary of issue. I'm looking for some advice because my boyfriend keeps saying he wants to put a baby in me. Oh. Another one trying to make somebody be a baby mama. I am worried that my boyfriend is trying to baby trap me. We are both 27, have been dating for about 3 months. 3 months and he's saying this to you? And from the beginning, he joked and made comments that he, quote, wants to put a baby in me, end quote. The first time he ever said that, I called him out and I told him that it was a gross and weird thing to say. He apologized and said he was just making a stupid joke. But after that, it kind of became an inside joke between us, at least to me. like making fun of him basically for saying something so weird. Most recently, though, he started saying it again in a way that doesn't always seem like he's joking, or he's made other comments along the same line that just don't sit right. He's already told me that he loves me and he wants to marry me, but he often calls me his wife. Oh, Sliver wrote a question. Okay, let me stop doing this and get to this question. I'm so excited. Oh, she said, just healthy boundaries and better life choices because of your content. Thank you for sharing. Oh, you're so sweet. She's been around, I guess, about a year now, so she's relatively new compared to like DP and some of these people that have been around here dang near since I started this YouTube channel. Shay, too. Shay been around forever, too. That's my girl. And yeah, a lot of these ladies, you know, they come and go, but generally everybody here has been here for years, and we got a couple of new people. And some of you watching that are not yet channel subscribers, please hit the subscription button. Don't be shy. Subscribe to the channel. But yes, Sliver's come a long way from her first couple of comments, because I remember I was like, ooh, she needs some help. She needs some milk. Yeah, he think he's smooth. He ain't that smooth. We gonna ream his behind. Okay, today when I was leaving the apartment, he lifted up my shirt and kissed my belly and said again he was going to put a baby in me. I brushed it off and I left, but when I got home, I couldn't shake this feeling of unease. It bothers me that he continues to make that comment after I've already had multiple conversations about not wanting to have kids anytime soon. I haven't quite figured out if I even want to have kids at all, and I'm set to attend grad school next fall. He's aware of this. Oh, yeah, that's why he want to fuck you over. Yeah, 22 to 27 Latina. Girl. I'm going to talk with him and tell him that him making these comments isn't funny and request that he stop, or I'm going to leave the relationship. But I feel like this is a pretty big red flag, and I'm looking for some other women's thoughts on this. I know some people have a fetish about getting someone pregnant, so I was thinking maybe it's more of that, but I really can't tell if there's potentially some darker underlying intentions here, like maybe manipulation, control seeking, etc. I know people will say to trust my gut instinct and that I was emotionally abused growing up and have a lot of relationship trauma. So sometimes I'm not sure if I'm overreacting about things, and I have a hard time trusting my own instincts. So I'm just looking for some additional insight from others who have maybe experienced something similar to this or know someone who has. If my boyfriend's behavior a big red flag, or I think it is, or I'm overreacting to some just dumb guy behavior. No. I wrote a whole piece on survivingdating.com called The Baby Mama Okie Doke. I wrote it, I don't know, probably about 15 years ago when I used to do a lot of writing. Once I switched over to video, I cut back on the writing. I don't write nothing anymore. But I'll get to you in a second, Urban. But let me finish answering this question. Young lady, you need to break this off now. I hope your birth control game is super tight and not something that's like a barrier method that he could damage or poke a hole in or something like that. But make sure he understands that you're not having nothing, that nothing is going to derail you from getting your MBA, MA, PhD, whatever it is your ultimate educational goal is. Nothing's going to change that. Not a baby, not him, not anything. And that if that's what his game is, that's what I think it is, that's not going to work, because you would be at the top up on the first abortion table that you could get on. And make sure he understands that even if you did get pregnant, I mean, you won't have a baby. The two are not, they don't go hand in hand automatically. And he need to understand that. I had to tell a dude that too. He's talking about, if I got you pregnant, what would you do? It's like, I told him real quick what I would do. And he was so mad. He was so, you would do that to my baby? I said, well, it wouldn't be a baby yet. But yeah, that's what I would do. And he was he was through. I guess he wanted some romantic fantasy where I would be like, oh my God, we'd have a child between the two of us, and it would be so beautiful, and we would have a family, and we would have this and that. I was like, motherfucker, no, I'm not having shit by you or nobody else. I'm not trying to do that. I ain't trying to be putting my life on hold like that. See, my daughter at the time was probably about, 8, 9 years old. I was messing with that clown. I'm like, you think I'm trying to start back over with throwing up and midnight feedings and shots and Pampers and pull-ups and all that kind of stuff? I'm not trying to do that. I've been there, done that, got the t-shirt, every souvenir there is. I'm done. So let me see now. Let's move on to this question here. She says, so my sister, who had a tumultuous relationship with in the past, but is cordial but distant now, sends me a link to a Facebook group for Black women. What do you think that's about? I'm suspicious that it's a setup. Huh. Let me scroll down and see, is there more to this? I don't want to just start talking. A Black woman's group. I wonder, what is the group supposed to be about? Because, every group on Facebook has like a focus. What is their focus? I mean, why did she think that you were interested in joining this particular group? I'm curious. That's going to be part of my answer. I need to know, what it is she's trying to bring you into. Okay. Let me see what she say. So Urban been around since 2017. I know it's been a long time. Okay, I'm looking, Urban, to see if you had any additional info on this. They think it's sexy. The group is sexy. Is that? Or are you talking to somebody else? I'm not following. Well, you tell me what the group is about, and then I can give you a sensible answer. Because right now, that's the big question mark in my feeble mind, and I just want to make sure I understand what the sister trying to do. Yeah, you all having a set side conversation. Okay, Urban, I need to know what the group is about that she's linked you to so I can answer your question. So at some point, I suppose she'll answer. But anyway, those of you who are watching, that's how this works. Notice how she paid her $10, and then I put her question on the screen, and then I start answering as soon as I get more information. Okay, here she go. Uncensored. Yeah, you're not going there. Y'all having a tumultuous, sometimey kind of relationship, and it's cordial but distant now, you describe it as? That you go in and it's uncensored? That means she can unload on you and you might not even know that it's her because she could be using some fake screen name. Yeah, I wouldn't mess with that. I would leave that alone. I would leave that alone. And no wonder you said it could be a trap. I agree with you 100%. That's the nature of that way that it's not moderated and it's not controlled and you can say whatever you want to anybody who's in there. Don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it. Go in there and, because usually when they invite you, you have like, if you click the link and it says you have been invited to this group and you accept the invitation, you just say decline. Okay, let's see what she said. She gave a little more information. I saw the rules and it didn't seem like something I wanted to join. She has been very toxic and codependent toward me for years, but seems to need me for this. Nope, you're not going to do it. You're not going to do it. You're going to let her be in there all by herself. Don't do it. She gonna tear you a new ass and you're going to come limping back here saying, oh my God. Don't do it, Urban. Don't do it. Just leave that alone. Once you said uncensored and unmoderated, that's it for me. That would be a wrap. I would want nothing to do with that. Because that would be some stuff where, you'd be getting cussed out. You'd be putting all your business up in there. I don't see anything good that can come from that. So my suggestion is that you just ignore that invitation, decline it, and remove yourself from the list if you can get in there. Like I said, usually when people invite me to groups, You know, it says you have been invited to this group. Do you accept the invitation? I hit decline. And then, do you want to receive notifications from this group? I say, no, I don't want anything to do with this group. And then I'm done. Yeah, no. Just all the nopes in the world, Urban. Just keep saying, no, 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 no. You're not going to do that. I don't see no benefit of you doing anything with that. So let me answer question number 21. That's I could just see Urban coming back here next week in tears. Summary of issue. Oh, I'm sorry. Female, 28 to 34. She's Asian from Calgary, Canada. Summary of issue. How can I know if a guy is just playing around or serious? We're at a mutual friend's birthday house party and there were a lot of people. I noticed him right away. He's just my type. And I kind of got an instant crush on him, but I didn't show it or approach him. Throughout the night, he talked to every single girl in the party. He was flirting with them all, and I was kind of with my friends group a little, but secluded. I also noticed he danced a sexy dance with a girl he just met, and they went and disappeared for a couple of hours and then came back together. Oh, hours, did they? Towards the end of the night, most people left. Then he approached me and we talked briefly. Then he asked for my number, which I gave him. But it's been over a week and we have been talking constantly about anything and everything every single day. We really hit it off. He'd tell me about his day, and he also met up once. He invited me to hang out with his friend group. He's been so nice and so flirty with me. He also asked me for a date for next week. Now my question is, seeing how he talks to every girl at that party and how he's so attractive, he has no problem fooling around with the women. I'm not sure if he genuinely likes me or he's just doing this because to get me to sleep with him and then leave me. He's been putting so much energy and time in our conversations and spending hours of his day texting me, and I know for sure he's busy with his work at the same time. He's been very respectful and attentive to me. He hasn't crossed any lines or asked me to hang out late at night or anything. What does this sound like to you, ladies? Please give me advice. I really like him and his company, and he says the same about me. But I'm so scared that he's just an F-boy who would hurt me with no problem. Any advice is appreciated. First of all, he's single, right? So when he's at the party, and he's a single man, he's supposed to talk to everybody because he's trying to find somebody, right? Why he's trying to find somebody, what the ultimate goal is, that's different. I would say she would tell her one, well, that's good. That's good. That's what I like to hear. But I don't have a problem with him talking to every woman because that's what he's supposed to do. He wasn't dating nobody. He's a single guy. He ain't married, he's not gay, he ain't living with nobody. So, what's the problem with him doing it? Why would you even mention that? That's what he's supposed to do as a single guy. Okay, so then finally he gets his nerve up and he comes over and gets your number and it seems like you guys are kind of hitting it off. What you're going to do, though, is you're not going to sleep with him. I'll tell you that. You're not going to get into no preliminary rounds of activity. You're going to be just like chased almost because you know what kind of, how he conducts himself, right? Disappearing off with someone for hours and then coming back. What you think they was doing? So, dude, he a little busy. You want to make sure you ain't knocking a notch on his belt. So you want to just take your time here. Take your time, continue talking to him, continue to get to know him, make sure that everything matches up. Just because he brought you around his friend group, that don't mean nothing. People will bring you around their family, and the family will just look at you and they know what the game is. Most women think that means something. But it don't mean shit, especially if his family's in on it. They don't care. So don't put too much on it, okay? You wait and you take your time. Check him out, ask lots of questions, make sure his behavior matches up with the answers that he gives you, and everything matches up. If he says he's going to do something, he does it. If he says he's going to be somewhere, that's where he is. If he says he's going to call you, then he calls you. He's respectful. He don't get handsy and touchy-feely with you. He don't say inappropriate, stupid, garbage things to you. He doesn't say mean things to you. He doesn't not emotionally abusive. He doesn't put you down in any kind of way, that negging stuff. Watch for all of those things over the next 3 or 4 months. And then if everything lines up, then you can sleep on them. But, you're not going to tell him that. You're just going to say, I'm not really in that space. I'm just trying to, get to know you better. I'll let you know when I'm there, this and that, blah, blah, blah. I'm not ready yet. That's all you have to say. Question number 22 of 25. This is a female in the 22 to 27 age group from Tucson, Arizona. Summary issue. I'm 25 years old. I'm single and I'm 7 months pregnant. Can you help me? Nope. I sure can't. What could have helped you was birth control. What could have helped you was the morning after pill. But you didn't do none of that. So now you stuck with a baby at 25 and just done fucked up your life. Within the last month, I've been told by my partner that he no longer is in love with me and that we are no longer an item. My heart is broken and I never intended to raise my child alone and without a family unit. I am not sure when or even how to start dating after this. Dating at 7 months, you're not going to do that. Or what it would look like after the healing process. Any advice for me? Okay. Did y'all just hear what I heard? She pregnant with Clown A's baby. Clown A done dipped out. So she going to have this baby by Clown A and already worrying about Clown B, C, and D after she has the baby. Okay, I need to start going to church so I can say, help me, Jesus. Young lady, right now, I'm so disgusted with you. I don't even trust myself to say too much because if you were with arm's reach, I'd be choking the shit out of you right now. I mean, like all by the throat and rattling your teeth. Because what you need to be focusing on is the fact that you stupid. Okay, you're dumb and you're having a baby by an idiot and you sitting up there, you need to be thinking about what's going to change in your life. The financial and emotional and physical responsibilities that you're going to have for a child raising it by yourself. You need to think about where you're going to get some damn money, where you're going to be living, how you're going to pay for daycare, how you going to get back and forth to work, and what you going to do when the kid is sick or need to go to the doctor or something, and you have to keep taking off work. You might lose your job, you know that? Especially if they're short-staffed and you keep having to take off. Have you finished school? Do you have any even ability to get any decent kind of paying job? These are the questions that you need to be looking into. If you don't have no money, are you going to be trying to get some assistance? Social services is going to help you out with some food stamps or something so you could, help afford to raise the kid that you done strayed and had. Oh, really? Oh, let me put this across the screen. Okay. Well, I mean, they have the barrier methods. I mean, you could work with that as well as use the barrier methods, the diaphragms and all that stuff and whatever. I know a lot of people can't take the pills and stuff like that, but there's other ways that you can work in conjunction with that to make more of a 100% uh, likelihood that there's not going to have an accident. So there's ways around all that, but in this situation, she just made one poor decision after another. You have a lot going on, and you need to start thinking about what you're gonna do with this damn baby. I'm of the mind though that since he left and you by yourself and you stupid, go down to Child Protective Services and you ask them what you need to do to put the baby up for adoption. That's what you need to do. You go and you ask the people what you need to do, and they're going to say, well, we need the father to sign off. And you're going to say, I don't know who the father is. That's what you're going to say. You're going to lie. I don't know who the father is. I was, I don't know, make up something and say, I just can't have this baby. I can't take care of this baby. I can barely take care of myself. It's just a nightmare. Don't you know somebody who want a baby? I'll be having a baby. They can take the baby. Okay? That's what you're going to do. Because I'm not seeing where you have any sense to be anybody's parent. And I'm serious right now. This letter at 7 months, your focus should be on the baby and your life as a single mother, making plans, putting things in place. Instead, you worrying about the next dick. I can't help you. I don't even just Question number 23. Female 18 to 21. She's African American from New Jersey. The female 42 to 49 is the other person involved. Term issue. My mother is mad that I prioritize my little brother over her. My mother's in her early 40s and she just broke up with her boyfriend of a year and she's been going through it. When she told me about it, I immediately went over to her house to keep her company. I stayed there for more than a week and I was happy to do it. I actually got into a fight with my dad because that's who I'm staying with, because I just left without warning and only told him about it when I was already here. After a week, I had to leave and I told my mother I'd stay over again after a bit. I just had to go back to talk with my dad. The day after I left, she called me and told me that she was feeling down. We talked for about 20 minutes, but the entire time my little brother, he's 9, was bugging me about wanting to play. So that means you got a little brother with your dad. Say that your dad's kid, okay. So I told her I'd handle him first and I'd call her back later that day. Then she blew up and told me that I was choosing my little brother over her and hung up on me. Wow. At 42? After that, she wouldn't answer my calls at all. Whenever I tried texting her, she'd just tell me to go and take care of my little brother instead. I knew she was mad, but after a week of that, I told her I'd stay over again because I knew she needed it. She finally replied and told me that I wasn't there when she needed me, saying that I should not go to her because I can't have access to her just when I want to. What are your thoughts? Am I in the wrong? How should I go about handling this? I would put her ass on block. Personally, because, when she said you'll go and take care of your brother, I said, yeah, that's what I'm going to do. Because he's a child, but you want to act like one at 42. So, yeah, let me just hang up until you grow up. And it's like, and then I would have put the cream sauce on top and said, now I see why he left you, because your ass is so immature, it's ridiculous. Okay, then she let her hang up on that. And who's going to try to compete with a 9-year-old for attention? Your mother is a trip. So, I don't know. I don't have any problem. I mean, I know you not, because I could tell by the way you wrote this that you not of that ilk. But your mother needs, to be cussed out and told about herself. And told, that's why the dude left you, because you stupid. You act like a fool and you act immature. Ain't no grown man trying to be with a woman who's 42 and act like she's 2. You tripping. And yeah, I'm going to take care of my little brother. I'm going to take care of him because he's a child. And he needs me, and you just want me over there. And, it's like you the one that broke up with him. Why do I need to be at your house consoling your ass for breaking up? And you my mother. It's supposed to be the other way around. I'm not supposed to be taking care of your ass. You tripping. So I would have said a whole bunch of stuff to her that none of it would have been pleasant, and she wouldn't have liked it. And then told her, well, when hell freezes over, you'll see me again. But until then, till you get your fucking attitude right, don't look for me. I'm going to be right over here with my brother and my daddy where I belong. I don't understand it. These people are exhausting. I need a drink. I need some wine. What time is it? Bev will be closed by the time I get done. Okay, question number 24. This is the next to last question. Female, 28 to 34. She's Caucasian from Manchester, England. The male is 28 to 34 as well. Same issue. My boyfriend says he will break up with me if we don't have a baby. Oh, another baby mama maker person. I've been together with my boyfriend for 4 years. We're both 32. Since we started dating, we talked about and made sure we were on the same page about not wanting children. We have been happily dating since then, and I truly felt like I found my soulmate. We haven't talked about having children again, so I assumed nothing had changed until yesterday. Dun, dun, dun. We were on a crowded bus in the middle of the city center on our way to meet his mother and sister when he says that we have to get off and that he has something to tell me. So we get off and he starts crying, saying that he has realized that he wants children and can't imagine a future without having at least one, and that it has become more important to him than being with me, and that we have to break up if I don't change my mind. I was shocked. I had no idea he'd been having these thoughts, but apparently he has been thinking about this for several months, end quote. I felt so betrayed that he didn't include me earlier in his thoughts, and that has gone so far now that he wants to break up basically right away if I don't say yes. We don't even live together. The last year we have spent hunting for apartments, and we are not financially stable enough yet either to even consider having a baby, which he now says he needs within a year. I told him that I don't want a baby right now, and that giving me this weird ultimatum out of the blue is really unfair because he has had a lot of time to think about this and I haven't. And I don't feel good about making a decision to have one under these circumstances either, because to some extent it would be out of fear of losing him. It would be 100% out of that. I'm so mad at him because if he had clued me in on this earlier, we could have had a conversation about it and I could have considered whether I wanted to do this or not. We talked all night and he has agreed to give me some time to think about if I want to have a child with him, and I honestly do not know what to do. If I say no, I lose the love of my life. And if I say yes, I don't know if that would be a decision that I would be making out of fear. What should I do? You should not have a baby if you don't want one. It's bad enough when you want them. You ready for it. You want it. You planned it. You got everything ready. You've been taking your prenatal vitamins already. You got money saved up. You prepped. You ready. It's bad enough under those circumstances. But you say you don't have no money. Y'all broke. And he want to have a baby. Do you know how much babies cost? What you need to do is go and prepare a spreadsheet. Go and you look up daycare costs. And, all the stuff that you guys will have to get like a place together. You're going to need at least 2 bedrooms because the kid got to have his own room. Do you need all the baby furniture stuff? You can get secondhand and, sand it down and stain it and stuff again. I guess that's not too bad. But, they need clothes, they need diapers, they need food, and then they got to go to the doctor, and then, you got to take off work when they get sick, and then it's like, it's a lot. So you need to calculate all those costs and put them on your spreadsheet. And then you give him that and say, well, this is what I calculated we would be spending on a child. This is our current income, and this would be the outgo once we add a child to it with daycare costs and stuff for kids. So do you really think that this is a good decision for us right now? It's like you talking emotionally, but you're not looking at the big picture here. And then he's going to be shocked and appalled and be sitting up there with the Pikachu face like, I didn't realize it was going to cost that much. And you're going to say, yes, isn't this eye-opening? So I want to ask you again, is this certainly something that you think that you're ready for? And if he says yes, then you're going to say, well, let me go pack my stuff because I'm not ready for that shit. I'm out. And you could go and find you some dumb broad who's willing to raise a baby with you in poverty, because that ain't me. I ain't about that life. And you let him go and do his thing and go breed with some random and have some miscellaneous stray baby and then live in poverty for the next 18 to 20 years. That's fine, as long as it ain't you. Okay? Question number 25, which is our last question of the evening, and it looks long. Oh, okay, this page is blank. I guess it's not that long. This is a young man in the 22 to 27 age group from Houston, Texas. He is Caucasian. Summary of issue. Very weirded out by my female best friend who just broke up with her boyfriend. They dated for 5 years. She would complain a lot about him to me, just venting. She never really told me his good qualities, though. They got into a bad fight and she broke up with him. Weeks have gone by and I was kind of worried about her because I've never seen her panic like that. I had lunch with her the other day and she seemed fine, talking to me about how he still texts her and argues with her still. She said she was upset at first, but she's happier because she didn't really love him and he didn't really love her like she wanted, and she took care of him more than he did of her. Now, this is where it gets weird. She always said that she's, quote, psychic. Then, bitch, you should be able to see that this breakup was coming. One of her roommates says she can see people's spirits, and she saw my friend's ex was a dead spirit, and said that he is dead inside and that she doesn't need him. Also said he's cursed and that he brought the curse to her home. She was trying to get him to go to church and get rid of the evil spirit connected to him. Okay. Before they broke up, he had co-signed for her new car, gave her money or whatever. She joked around saying, yeah, he bought me a car and gave me money, then I dumped him. I'm sure it was only a joke, but the things she said just really made me feel weird. Maybe he did hold her back a lot and didn't treat her right, but the things she said about him just made me feel really weird. Okay, what does that even mean? She also already has a new boyfriend. They started dating soon after she broke up with the other guy. Makes me think, wow, a lot of these women here sure can move on fast. Not all girls, of course. Well, then why do you even think that is stupid? It was also triggering me because of my previous breakup. What in the world do I do now? Nothing. You friends with a Looney Tune, batshit crazy broad. What you talking about seeing spirits and all, the bringing spirits in her house and she gonna take them to church and all that old shit. And you sit there and listen to that, I would have got up and said, your bitch ass is crazy and you need to go to the nearest mental hospital. I just like, can you imagine? You sit there, somebody's like, I can see spirits, and I saw that he was dead inside, and okay, but you psychic? Then why didn't you see that shit before you got involved with him? But your psychicness like was blind for a minute. What happened? What had happened to it? And you done dealing with dude all that time, and you just now seeing that he's dead inside. You see what I mean? I would have had questions. Inquiring minds want to know. I just don't, I don't know what she's doing, but I can't deal with the cray in people when they start talking all that kind of crazy nonsense. I got to deuce out. I got to go boop and be out. Yeah, this cost of, I don't know, because they're in the UK somewhere, maybe it's different, because I know don't they have like universal health care or something, so she might not have the same worries that we would have about paying labor and delivery and, new baby care and all that old wellness and all that old stuff here. But you still got to buy furniture. You still need a place that's big enough for, a kid. And you still have, the issue of missed work if you, and you still got to pay daycare. But, how much is daycare in the UK? Who knows? Who knows all those details? But, oh, my God, you guys, I'm so glad this is over. I'm so happy. Anyway, we'll be here tomorrow, hopefully, if I can get my act together. If not, then I just move it to Saturday if I need more time. But my auntie's out of the hospital, so all that drama's over. So hopefully I should be able to get the slideshow together for DNN, which will be ending in after tomorrow, 1 more week. And then we will be done with our summer programming, and we'll go back to our regularly scheduled program where we're educating you about relationships. We have a webinar that is on deck for Friday, December 29th. About saying no, that we'll be starting to publicize soon. That's going to, we want to schedule it before the end of this year so that you go into 2024 with your stuff together, with a different attitude, with your boundaries high, with your mind right, and with your mind, in the right place to protect yourself and back people up off of you when they get a little bit too jiggy. All right? So I'll see you all tomorrow at 6 p.m. Pacific time. It's 9 if you're on the East Coast and 8 if you're in the middle of the country. And we will see you then. So ta-ta.